What's up guys, this is Balázs from Racing Brick and here is the brand new gigantic LEGO Eiffel Tower. Okay, sorry, it's not that one. This is the Paris postcard version and I don't actually have the new one here, but LEGO today officially revealed the 10307 Eiffel Tower set and I am here to share all the interesting details with you. I have the usual super high resolution photos and videos to analyze, but there's much more. I had the chance to see this enormous build in person back in September at the LEGO Fan Media Days in Billund, so I can share my hands-on experience with you, and we talked to the lead designer himself, Roksgalin Kobe, so there will be many exclusive information and background details in this video. Let's get started. First about the numbers. The set has 10,001 pieces, which means it does not have the highest piece count ever, since that still belongs to the World Map Mosaic set, but with a whopping height of 149.6 centimeters or 58 inches, this is definitely the tallest LEGO set ever created, just like the original was the tallest man-made structure in 1889 when it was finished. The set will be available from the 25th of November at LEGO stores and on LEGO.com, and the price is 630 euros or dollars. I'm not sure about the dimensions of the box, but that seems to be huge as well. You can see the tower on the front with the usual boring black background. I think it would look much better with a nice scene of Paris there. The dimensions are already highlighted on the front. Apparently this is a feature that LEGO wants to emphasize. Some details on both sides, and there's the Easter egg that might be familiar from the box of the Loop Coaster. We can see the upper section of the tower on the side, and the tip of the tower with the flag is on the top of the box, emphasizing again the height. There's another shot on the back, and you can see here how the build can be separated into 4 different sections to be manageable. A cool perspective from the bottom, then a nice photo of the real deal, and some proof of not having only dark bluish grey pieces in the build. Speaking of the color, I'm sure some of you will say that it is not accurate as the current color of the real Eiffel Tower is called Eiffel Tower Brown, and it has this paint since 1968. It was yellow brown, reddish brown and a few other shades previously, but never actually grey. Interestingly, the real tower has 3 different shades, with the darkest at the bottom and the lightest at the top. As you might understand, that would be very difficult to replicate in LEGO form, and there's no LEGO color that would perfectly match any of the current shades. According to Rok, the designer, the grey color was chosen because the tower is most recognizable as a silhouette. This build is more about the shape and not the color, and it also builds up on the previous huge LEGO version, set number 10181, that was also dark bluish grey. This LEGO build is a mix, historically wise by the way. The base is made as it looked like originally, no concrete, no security elements, with a nice park with lamps and benches below the tower. The rest of the build is the version you can see today. The aim was to capture the most iconic format. The old LEGO set was using the traditional brick stacking approach. The new one benefits from the many different new elements introduced since then and some really tricky building techniques. The flag was not present in that old version either, but it could be found in the Skyline set and on the postcard version as well, so there's a connection with multiple LEGO iterations. The flag is the only movable element, by the way, on the set. Apart from the color, there are a few elements paying tribute to that set, like the elevators for example, that are very similar to the previous version. They also help with the color coding during building, yellow for north and south, red for east and west. The size of the 2 versions is very different though. The previous one was 1:300 scale, this one is 1:200 scale, which is the same as the scale of the Titanic by the way. And not only that, the LEGO Statue of Liberty also shares the same scale, so you can put 2 engineering achievements of Gustav Eiffel side by side in LEGO form. Structurally, it follows the original as close as possible. The load-bearing elements are constructed in a similar way. Rok, who is an architect originally by the way and designed lots of LEGO architecture sets previously, so he tried to follow the original construction method as close as possible. First we build a base which is super sturdy yet only 2 bricks high. It contains a good amount of classic 2x4 bricks, and as an Easter egg, it has a nice French color scheme. The base also has built-in handles on the sides to help lifting it up. That's the proper point to grab the bottom section for transportation. After the base we are building the 4 legs, then join them together. In the original tower, the legs had hydraulic components to allow precise positioning when they were joined together. Here in the model, the LEGO pieces offer some flexibility that will be required when you are at that building step. The long pieces on the legs were challenging from a design perspective. Smaller plates had to be used to relieve the tension that longer stacked parts would have. On the real tower, the arches only have an aesthetic purpose, they don't support the weight. Here we have the same with the recolored roller coaster tracks, they are only decorative elements, only the legs support the weight. They do it so well, by the way, the tower will still stand if you remove one of the legs, it was tested. As you see, the top of the base section is actually built upside down, so we are switching building direction during the process, and the top of the second stage is again similar. This also allows a seamless connection with the next stage without the need of adding tiles all around. The attention to detail is also visible if we take a look from below, which is an iconic real-life viewpoint. The designer paid attention to this aspect as well, and the build is properly detailed from every direction. There are no new elements in the set, by the way, only recolored ones. I've mentioned the roller coaster tracks already, we will get lots of dark bluish grey sausage pieces as well. Some pieces appear in great quantities, we get tons of grey lightsaber elements or these various connector pieces, but tons of clips as well. The antenna section uses several weird parts like the spiral staircase support element, the bucket handles, and the sausages are also visible here. Interestingly, this is not an IP product as the tower itself does not have copyright protection, only the illumination is protected. Did you know that you cannot sell nighttime photos of the Eiffel Tower? Now you know. So, this is an enormous and very impressive set, especially considering all the engineering work went to it. I think its sheer size will be one of the main challenges. I mean, where would you put it? The UCS Millennium Falcon can be squeezed in a bigger coffee table, even the Titanic fits on a shelf, well, not a small one obviously, but this tower will require its own corner in a room, you cannot simply put it on your desk. Funny fact, the dimensions of the set caused another challenge during the design process. The team had a hard time to squeeze everything in the instructions properly. I think it should share the target audience with the architecture series, it's almost like a UCS set from that team, something similar to the Colosseum, but the scale will be a challenge. Just to have some point of reference, I have this cabinet here with the drawers. The base would fit here as it is 60 cm deep and the tower's base is 57 by 57 cm, almost the same as this 3D printer that you could see or you will see on the channel. I'm a bit confused with the scheduling. So, the height of the tower simply would not fit here, I don't have enough free space below the ceiling. Okay, we are in the basement, but still. Here are some other quite tall sets as reference, you can imagine how huge the Eiffel Tower will be. About the price, 630 euros or dollars are a lot of money for plastic bricks, but you get 10,000 of those, and these are not one-by-one plates like the world map. If we take a look at other sets in this price range, the price per piece ratio is actually pretty good for the Eiffel Tower. Of course, I'm sure no one will buy it for the parts, but I'm also sure you wouldn't buy the UCS 8080 or the Titanic either for the pieces only, so compared to those it is actually not that bad. People now have a bigger selection of huge grey things to put on display, the others were also popular, we will see how this new one will perform. Honestly, I don't think I will buy it anytime soon. Would be great to take a closer look at the building solutions and it definitely seems to be way more interesting for me from this perspective than the Colosseum for example, but unfortunately I don't have space for it at the moment. As I mentioned, it will be available from the 25th of November, scheduled for the Black Friday shopping madness of course. Let me know in the comments folks, how do you like it? Are you planning to buy it? Let's talk about it. If you like this video then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications as more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.